You should start over.
All right,
Run it back.
Run it back. Real Relay fam, we got a very special guest today, Mr. John Scott.
What's up?
We're so pumped to have you here, man. I've been checking out your Instagram and doing my lurking research and stuff like that. You've worked with some pretty well-known artists.
I've been blessed. I've gotten to work with some really, really talented people.
Yeah. So the likes of Lil Baby, Bia,
Yep.
42 Dugg, Snoop Dogg.
Okay, he's done his research. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's like right there. That's like surface level research. But what we want to learn today is about you. You're the guy. So we want to learn like who you are, how you got into music, all that stuff. So we always start out the show with Mr. John Scott. Who are you today?
Today, I am a 32-year-old human being on Earth that is trying to make music with his friends forever. That's my goal.
I like that.
I
like
love that response.
I love that. I love that because it's like, you probably could tell when you ask someone that question, it's like, how are you going to take it? You know what I mean?
Totally. How do I see myself? Just like a piece of, the universe that gets to participate, and I'm in one of the worlds that's like, pretty killer for me.
Yeah, that's so dope, man.
Nice.
So talk about like how you got into music.
So I started doing music. My brother started playing guitar, started copying him, played guitar. That was when I was 13, started taking lessons, and then needed to record the music that me and my friends were writing. So we got GarageBand at 15, and that sounded terrible using our laptop mics. And so then we went to Guitar Center and got Pro Tools and mics, and that didn't sound that much better, but it was a lot more fun. And it was like Pro Tools was like a whole nother instrument. Like you get to chop it up and fuck with it. And
I've used Pro Tools.
Yeah,
you were using Pro Tools at 15?
Yeah.
Damn. So Pro Tools
6.4 is what it came with, and it came with a free upgrade to 6.7 and 6.9 or something.
Damn.
And their Pro Tools, it was version 12 before they changed the naming system, and now it's 2021. But it would be like Pro Tools 14.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, at such a young age like that, that's pretty dope. Because I started off I've used like Make Beats and stuff like that in the past too. Again, started off as GarageBand and shit like that. I went to Fruity Loops though instead.
Yeah, Fruity Loops is like crazy because it started as very low brow, and by a lot of people it's still considered that, but it's used by so many people that it's impossible for anyone to take that argument seriously. Yeah. Like if Metro Boomin's using Fruity Loops.
Yeah, I saw his Genius interview and shit like that. He's like, yeah, I'm using Fruity Loops.
Exactly. So many people are using Fruity Loops. It's so fast and efficient for like making beats, especially trap beats. There's other things like compositionally that it like doesn't let you do, but if you're not trying to do those things, it does what it does faster than any other program.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They just do what they gotta do and they get the fuck
out.
And
they're making beats sometimes really, really fast too. So they're not. Yeah, that's the most important thing, arguably, is the speed of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. And where are you from?
Phoenix, Arizona. So I was born there, raised there, left there to go to Berkeley for when I was 18, and then started the studio after I was an intern at a studio called Time Bomb Studios at the same spot. Was there for 2 years, got fired. Then my boss was going back to New York and was like, I'll hook you up with the landlord.
Why'd you get fired?
I got fired over some bullshit.
Tell us.
So
what happened? Is this while you're in California?
No, this is at Berkeley, Boston, the college, Berkeley College of Music. So I was like 21 when I got fired, I think. It was the summertime. It was a Sunday. And the day before, my boss, David, asked me if I was going to come in the next day to... and I was like, no, I'm gonna go to church tomorrow, and I'm like taking the day off. And he's like, we need the mics set up for the band that's gonna be there on Monday. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And he calls me Sunday at 8:00, and he's like, where were you today? And I was like, I told you I wasn't gonna be in there. and he's like, I told you that we needed the mics set up for Monday. And I was like, I think it's still Sunday. Yeah. I was like, I was gonna come in tomorrow morning and do it. I was like, I do not see this year. They had just like, he was overworked and tired and
took it all on you.
Honestly probably thought that I said that I was going to come in on Sunday. For him, it was like the last straw, and I was, to the wind.
How did that affect you? Like, how did that affect you growing up?
It sucked that I felt that I was one of the people at the studio that actually could help and use Pro Tools when there was a bunch of other interns there who didn't know what they were doing at all. Like, there's a reason that he called me when he left and was like, do you think you could start a studio? So in some respects, like, I think it was more of a power struggle and other things that I maybe if I were a different person could have been around and stayed, but it wasn't a situation that I honestly, looking back, would have wanted to stay in. So I'm glad, everything happened the way it did. Like, it obviously really worked out in my favor. So you can't, like, begrudge any of those situations.
So he fired you just to hire you back later?
No, he didn't hire me. He was willing to sell me the insides of the studio, which he would have had to spend a bunch of money to take out anyway, for like $5,000. So like basically, if there was soundproofing inside the walls that you would have to tear out, like he'd have to spend $6,000 to take $5,000 back of soundproofing and repair it enough for the landlord. So it wasn't like a real thing. But my dad, we didn't want to fight it, and we didn't know what the situation really was. So we said yes because it wasn't going to be like a game changer investment for it. Yeah. Long term, the rent is a couple $1,000 a month, talking tens of thousands. So we gave him that. He moved to New York, and I set up. Me and 2 other kids from Berkeley tore down all the walls, tore up all the carpet that smelled like dog piss, and redid everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking proud of you. That's lit.
Yeah, it was a wild trip in the beginning because there was no business in the beginning. It was like 3 of us. We'd finished the studio. I did like one of my friends' bands basically for free, and it was like one of the only projects in the first couple of years that actually sounded really good because they were all really talented. And then it was like reality check, and I had so little work for the first year or 2 that it was like even when I did have work, it was just tough to want it to to even want the clients to show up because you didn't know they would show up because they would no-show so many times. Yeah. So it's like you get in a weird funks when you're just on this like cliff of I have to make it work. And it slowly started to, and then I was engaged and I was going to move to Texas if the studio didn't really pick up, and it sort of started to, and then me and my wife did, my wife now, but at the time we were just engaged, we did like projections for what the studio would do 5 years from now, and it was like $10,000 difference between what her job was paying her and like what the studio was going to make. But just like based on that, and even if it were like $10,000 less, we still probably would have gone with Boston just because she wouldn't have wanted me to have to like give up my business if there was a chance of it working.
That's how you know she a ride or die.
Yeah, totally. Like, and this last move was her call. She was like, "We're moving to LA," and I was like, "You told me when we got married that I had to promise you I would never move you to LA, and now you want to move out to LA on your own." I'm like, "Yes."
That's what LA sounds like.
I was like, LA, absolutely, I will do that.
Yeah.
So she's, I don't know how I lucked out in that regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to your wife, bro.
Yeah, no, Caitlin's the real one.
Give her a shout out. Give her a shout out.
Caitlin's my favorite person on this planet.
There you go. Nice. The real one. That's good, man. That's a nice little come up story, man.
Yeah. So it took a while to, get to the point where we were making enough money. It was probably like 19 months, and then my dad stopped helping at like around then too. It was like lost $500 the first month I was on my own, broke even the next month, and then made $500 the 19th month of business. And then from there, it's been doing it. We passed our 5-year projections on year like 3.
And this is the studio
in Somerville.
In Somerville.
Yep.
Okay.
We got three rooms. We got a little C room upstairs, and then a very, very nice A room. And our B room just got renovated. We got the loudest speakers in Boston. Augsburgers.
I saw that post.
Shout out to Augsburgers.
Damn, good shit, man. Mm-hmm. And now you're killing it, man.
Wow. So it really just took a year of just like grinding, like locking in.
Like, what would you say to people that are
year and a half?
It took a year and a half to get to break even, to just be able to have the business, and then it took another 2 or 3 years to be making anywhere near what like I really should have been making for how much work I was doing.
Yeah.
But you have to beat overhead, and I wasn't doing business right. And it took me a while to figure out all the things that I needed to. And then once I got picked up by Jeezy, I was away from my studio for 200 days one year. I took 100 flights for Jeezy one year. So Jesus. It was 50 trips, 200 days. And that meant I was only at my studio for 165 days less.
You miss it?
I did miss it, but I also missed my wife more than the studio, and I missed out on all of the money if I had done my business right and had people using my studio when I was gone, but I hadn't trained really anybody. I was letting my assistant use the room for like $500 a month, but he fucked that up, and so I switched it up. I remember like right when it happened, after I remember he told me I was like gonna crash and burn, but right after he left, that first week we made 7 times more than I charged him per month from that room.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah.
Just like renting it out to like
Yeah,
artists?
because I had other interns and engineers at that point who were listening, and that was just at the beginning of it. Now we have like I have 10 engineers at the studio, but I take a percentage, and so depending if someone brings their own client in or if I refer one of my clients to one of the engineers, we just do a split. So like my split for that week was 7 times more than what I was charging my old engineer.
Damn.
Like for the whole
Oh
month.
my God.
Yeah.
And then Josh is one of your engineers.
Josh is my guy.
That's
Josh
your-
is the head of the studio now.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
Yep.
He's coming on.
Mr. Shoeback.
He's coming on. He's coming on. Yeah, we semestered him for the 14. That's dope, man. That's a crazy.
Yeah, he was
story.
just nominated for Hip Hop Engineer of the Year.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
For New England hip hop.
Word. I will go vote for him.
Voting's closed.
Voting's
so we can
closed?
see. I don't know if they released it.
Oh, they
Dude,
released
send
the
us
results.
link.
I don't know. I'm gonna see.
I want to see it. I think yes. I think I saw it on. I'll send you the post on Instagram and shit like that. Word. That's
Yeah,
sick. What a come up
dude.
story. So
Yeah, that is sick. I want to touch on really quickly because like, a lot of the time people get into like music or like fashion or like any type of creative type business where they're passionate about the art because they're an artist at the end of the day, they're creative, but they struggle with the business side of things. So how did you learn the business side of things?
I think I knew from a young age, and that like I knew I needed to make money to do other things that I wanted to do, like have a family and go on vacation and not be broke. Live in a nice place, do fun things, all that shit. And I'd heard starving artist all my life, and so like I'd been told by my family, don't do music because you won't make any money. So I was very conscious of the fact that like if I were to prove people wrong about music, I needed to prove them wrong in a way that lets me live the life that they didn't think I would be able to. You know
Just
what I
shut
mean?
them up completely.
Yeah, for me that's part of what it was. And so it's like when other people didn't believe in me, that like is like motivation, but it also is like something that I really wanted to do. But there's nothing better to like make you believe in yourself, for me at least, than someone like not believing in
Oh
me.
my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
the doubters,
Exactly.
the motherfucking haters, suck my dick.
And sometimes they're right in what their doubts are, but even having doubts can just feel like someone doesn't believe in you. And
Yeah.
it's good to have healthy doubts about like things, you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna if you're trying to jump from like a building to another building and it's really, really far, and you're not sure if you can make it, that's a healthy fucking doubt to have. You know, total self-belief is bullshit. Like that's toxic positivity. Like you need to be realistic and know what your strengths are and like be able to like pull it off. Otherwise, it's just talk. So making it actually happen for me meant being able to like be married and take care of my wife and have a family one day. So it meant like I have to have the business right. It couldn't just be like a star and like be working towards like hitting it rich goal. I'd rather have steady progress and growth.
You wanted to build wealth.
Consistency. Yeah.
Exactly.
That
Something that's
consistency.
stable rather than something that's like, fleeting.
That's
Okay.
Yeah, want to build that wealth, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, like you're a family guy, dude. At the end of the day, you care about your wife. You want a future. Like,
Yeah.
it's more than just like the music.
And you
business,
have to do really well as an engineer to be able to get the hours
Yeah.
that you want. So I did have to know. I knew that I had to do like a little bit of business stuff on the side, and I love studios, and I wanted to I want to open 5 studios in 5 different cities. Like that's one of my lifetime goals.
Damn.
Yeah,
Nice.
that'd be really cool. So I'm looking for a spot in LA right now. We're gonna open it probably next year, and we'll have some of the engineers from here come out there, and then we'll have the new ones that are coming up.
How big
over
is
here.
this team that you have of interns,
So
engineers?
we have 10 engineers and 6, 7 interns.
Damn.
We're low on interns right now, so whoever.
So
sees
like,
this,
what
but
does that
we're getting
entail?
pickier.
Like,
They're not really interns, so we have apprenticeship programs. Basically, you can skip going to school and learn how to do the engineering shit. So all of my interns, for the most part, Curtis, I don't really consider him. He wasn't really an intern. He was only an intern for like 3 days, and then he figured everything he needed to out, and he was an engineer because he'd already worked at other studios before. But he was like humble and like applied for the internship to like learn shit, and then I was just like graduated him at the right time. Just so happened to be 3 days. But for most other people, I'm like the first person they ever record on Pro Tools. Like that's how I train people. So I jump in the booth I, pretend to be a singer or a rapper and do all the things that they do, including getting annoyed at when they make a mistake and just basically communicating all of the things that you need to be aware of when you're recording somebody to be a good engineer and to, land big clients. Because if you can record really, really well and really, really fast, it facilitates the artist, making good music. It just makes it so that even if they have ADD, they don't have to really hold on to a line because it's just fluid. They're just like the next take, next take. That's how I got all my big clients.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, where can I sign up for this shit?
Yeah, no,
send a resume to
psychology.
phoenixdownrecording@gmail.com.
Phoenix Down Recordings, man. Damn, that's fucking awesome. I wish I would have known of something like that back in the pocket when I was trying to make beats and shit like that. When I was on Fruity Loops and GarageBand and like fucking around with Pro Tools and shit like that.
Yeah, and I think the reason that I'm like a little bit obsessed about training and making sure that everybody's like really up to par, like I've trained some of the best engineers, like especially tracking engineers. Like there's bar none for some people. Like I even have some guys that I trained that are out in LA that started a studio, and their interns were telling me that they've never seen people record as fast as them. So I've had I have a good legacy now of my interns, present and past, who've moved and are successful audio engineers. Some of them have started their own studios, and so it's like really, really cool to see that it's working for the people that I'm investing time in, and that is what brings people in, because then they see that if they invest their time, it's not just like a pipe dream. It really fucking does happen for the people.
You're only as good as your team, and you're a good person. So at the end of the day, with those two mix, you want to have the fucking best team for just like yourself in general. But that value in having someone be well, and then they go off into the world and they do their thing, or they stay with you.
And they're getting a way faster education than I did. Like it took me 8 years to get as good as I was where Josh is now, and it's like it's not quite the same speed when you have someone who's is going to tell you don't have to make that mistake. Like you just have to make that mistake one time, and I'm going to teach you how to fix it, and then you never make it again. Whereas like you might make that little mistake that really affects something for years before you run across someone who's better than you and fixes it for you, or you get better and realize it yourself. So there's so much self-education that happens at the studio too, that like now that my engineers are like really good, they're teaching me shit, especially about like other programs and things that like I'm not, like a lot of my engineers are like way better producers than I am. They make they're like beat makers too. So like I make beats and stuff, but they make beats every day. So it's like a wealth of people who are doing stuff constantly, and so
they're learning from each other.
Exactly. After a party, like if there's a party or something, and a bunch of the people at the studio are like going back to the studio, we're always making music. Like that's just like what we do.
That's the vibe.
Yeah. Like we get paid to record, and then we
do it for fun too.
We record for fun.
That's a vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the LA vibe too.
Yeah. All of us do it. Like. Yeah, it's great.
That's a lifestyle, bro. Just fucking producing, making beats and shit like that. Just vibing, working with artists. That's a creative fucking goal. You know what I mean? To just to do that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
And I just love expression too. I love art. I love painting. I love all of the I wish that Instagram and TikTok has a lot of shitty things about it, but one thing that I love about it is how easy it is to just find really, really beautiful art and techniques for shit and camera work. And so like saving stuff in my Reddit and Instagram and TikTok has like made it so like whenever I am gonna go do something, I have like a whole thing where I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna steal this, I'm gonna steal this, I'm gonna steal this.
You should.
It's all techniques when it ends at the end of the day. Like I've shown my people that it's not super complicated to get a really good vocal sound and make really good sounding tracks, but it really can be. But if you start someone there, like with my template, it kind of like starts them at a place that's gonna sound good no matter what, and then you show them why it sounds good, and then you can take it away and they still know how to make it sound good. You know what I mean? But it's like a way of having them know it first, as opposed to just be wandering in the dark, because then they're just like searching for it. If you start someone on the X on the map, it's pretty easy to get back to the X and like make a new map and then mark where it is.
Point of origin.
But if you're just looking for the X, it can take a really long
where do you
time.
start?
But like that's what like it sounds like, just from speaking with you, like that's how you are. Like you want to like help people. You want people to be better than fucking you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or, like,
definitely. And Josh is just gonna crush me because he's gotten so good too fucking fast.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that, and I think that is like the natural progression. And if it weren't that way, then where would we go?
Yeah. There's always gonna be the
like
next.
it's gotta be the next. And if there's gonna be a next for him, and then that will be his, brainchild, and there'll be next for that person. And ideally, you take certain things from your past, you know what I mean, from people that, you know, will now think you're better than them. But to you, they're still like, yeah, Steve Vai is like someone that I have a tattoo of. Like, not him, but like of his guitar on my back. Yeah. Huge influence for me. Like one of the reasons that I like really stuck with music, right? Saved me in high school. But I've done records that have sold and gotten so many more plays than all of his catalog combined. Mm-hmm. He's not huge. Like nobody knows who he is comparative to like Lil Baby. Yeah. You know what I mean? But to me, if I got to record him, it would still it would still like what matters to me because it matters to me.
Yep. I feel that. I feel that. I don't even mean to interrupt like that. I feel that on a wavelength. You know what I mean? Like we do all this real relationship, but like, bro, at the end of the day, like, I mean, maybe it's not similar, but bro, I like to go home and just play Xbox and watch anime. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's like Monday through Thursday. Yeah. And that's what gets me
happy.
That's what gets me happy. That's what gets me fucking grinding. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, having people on and talking about all this shit is cool. It's like mainly the pillars that we talk about, music, tech, culture. But like, bro, being home with my jammies, eating some goobers.
Hell yeah, you want to do what you want to do.
And that's what gets me up every day to fucking grind, bro.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it. So I feel that.
Yeah.
I could work with the fucking biggest artists in the world, but like, bro, I'd like to kick it with like Trippie and like watch some anime or some shit.
Totally.
Like that would be ill.
Yeah, getting to a place where you're not just on a different level and you're with your team is the only way that I think that really can happen. Because like I've been with people and like it's never going to be the same unless you really come up with people. Otherwise, you're just working for somebody. Yeah. Like that's why I have a like Lil Baby asked me to be his personal engineer and I was like no, I'll do a day rate and here's the day rate. But I'm not going to do that ever again. Yeah. Because being on call, not getting a schedule with my wife, not knowing what the next time I'm gonna be home or if the trip back that they say it's it's only going to be 3 days and then they're not going to need me again for a month if that's going to be true because it hasn't been every other time. Like there's been times where I like would get back to Boston and then I would get a text being like they need you tomorrow again. Damn. Like they'd like fly me out for like 24 hours for sometimes. And so you just get drained doing stuff you don't want to do. Yeah. I want to do the thing, but sometimes you have to sacrifice to get to that place. But I want to finally get to the place where I've made those sacrifices and then like
you just chill,
really enjoy it, and keep doing the stuff that I wanted. Like I like building, and I like the people that I have around me, and they need things. They need me to do things for them to facilitate that growth too. Yeah. So like it's nice having a variety of aspects in which I can like spend my time. That way I'm not just constantly having to do one thing. So I did that for a long time, and that really helped me. But it is taxing. Yeah. And so like I am on this like wave right now where I'm doing this video. Like I shot a music video a couple months ago. I've done like 10 paintings in the past couple months, and I haven't done a painting in the past 10 years.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Just shit that I want to do because I got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Nice. And enjoy it because I mean you got a wife and shit like that too. Like I feel you, man. Like you don't want to be doing that shit if like you have your own character. All I say is like your own character development story. Your character development story ain't with Lil Baby. You know what I mean?
You're your main. You're your own main.
You're
character.
your main character in your storyline. Like that'd be dope. But like, I guess if the situation was set up differently, if you were like just chilling by yourself and wanting to keep grinding and doing that, you have the option to.
Totally.
But you have your own morals and your like what you want to do and shit like that. So you have your own story and you want to go do that. You know what I mean? All this shit doesn't really matter to you. You know.
So question: when Lil Baby gave you that offer, were you like, hey? It
was a very tough text to respond to in general.
Were you like, okay, it's a no for me, but I got 10 other sound engineers over here that are fucking great.
If it were like that, if it were something where we'd had that relationship, and I was passing it, that would work. But it didn't seem like that was the kind of play where it was like, hey, if you don't want me, you can just trust me, even though we've only worked together 4 times, and I got somebody that you've never worked with yet that can fill in. Although he had probably tracked with Josh and a couple other people at the studio.
Josh told me.
So we knew what was up, but he was asking. And so we did work, and so he just booked me for like a couple weeks here and there.
That's dope.
So it worked out way better. Like I worked, 4 weeks for him, got like $40,000.
Wow. That's fun. That's lit.
But he took care of you and shit like that. Yeah. He was good.
They were good, and some of the times, and it was, he had writer's block for a part of the time, so there was like a couple just days where we got like 4 bars in on a song, and that was it. And we'd go to the next song, and then you'd just be like, I don't like this beat. And so that was like hurt your soul because you're just like it's a lit beat and he's like saying something cool and you're like, this is the one. This is gonna make the record.
So it's just like a bunch of incomplete songs that
we did 14 before we got to the one on that one of the 7-day trips.
Yeah. So
any feature that he had to do for somebody,
easy,
busted it out, nailed it.
Dude, Lil Baby is literally my favorite artist. Right now.
Lil Baby's definitely in my like top 3 too. Yeah. I have utmost respect for how talented he is, especially with his like lyricism. In the way he chooses which words that he's gonna say so that you can understand him. Like if he is a mumble rapper, I can understand everything he's fucking saying all the time. You know what I mean? But he sounds like a mumble rapper in the tone, and that's what people loved about mumble rap. But so he's really like the best of both worlds in my opinion for that. He's the king of that.
Bro,
he does like a bar thing where he'll flip a bar like 10 different ways before he picks which way he's gonna say it, and each of them is just like the subtle variations of. The one I remember, he's like, I got so much cash it looked like a buy. Was like, got so many hundreds it looks like a chapter. Like he's like,
so many spin-offs off the fucking one bar.
Off the one thing, just trying to find
his job.
Exactly.
That's his job. He's trying to do his shit.
Yeah, but a lot of people are lazy with it, and he's not.
Nah, but
he gets in his vibe, and he does all the other stuff that you associate with someone who just passes out on the couch, but he puts in the work to pass out on the couch and earn that.
And that's what I was gonna say. The reason why I like Lil Baby so much, and maybe this fucking is completely off fucking base, but the reason why I like Lil Baby so much is because he reminds me of that hustle and grind like Meek Mill did with Dream Chasers back in the day.
Absolutely.
And that's what really makes me fuck with him a lot.
Yeah, he's an interesting, like, Meek Mill seems a little bit more on the hustle side, but Lil Baby's definitely like a hustler. Straight, like he told me one time, he's just like, I'm a D. Like he told me to take off effects one time. He's like, quit with the white boy bullshit. I'm a D boy. And you put those delays on Jeezy's voice. Yeah. He's like, I'm a D boy. Yeah. And I was like, you're right. I was like, I'm gonna play it way more straight, like the way that you want it. And like that was one of the biggest growths that I had and needed to learn. Was like the artist is always right, especially if they are an artist. If I'm helping someone become an artist and be an artist,
different.
Give someone
more. Add some input.
Exactly. Give a little feedback and fight them a little bit if I really think that they're wrong.
This Lil Baby.
This fucking Lil Baby. Who the fuck do I think I am?
This Lil Baby.
Right.
That's lit.
He tells you to jump, you say how high.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, so I'm saying he's doing this. That's his job too. He's an artist. He's a creative. You know what I mean? He's been doing this shit. Yo, Lil Baby been rapping for a minute, bro.
Yeah, making choices, actually knowing what he wants and not just leaving it up to anybody else. He's real artist.
That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, one of my like biggest dreams, like low key, is like to just sit in a studio and just watch one of these artists make a. I don't give a fuck. I'll sit there like this.
Hey, if you intern at the studio, that'll happen.
Fucking 3 years and just I'll fucking just.
I don't know any other way to get there other than just being an engineer, but those or become real close friends.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can go with real close friends for we can go out for drinks and shit, But like that's one of my biggest things is to sit down. Like I would love to watch like Drake make a song or Lil Baby make a song or some shit like that. Just
That'd
a
be
vibe,
crazy.
Just to sit. But that's crazy, man. Phoenix Down recording, man. You got that fucking the studios, man. Oh, that's a vibe.
So wait, I want to know more about the Jeezy scenario where you were out for like 100 days. Like how that networking opportunity come about?
So Brittany, Jeezy's manager, called me and asked me if the studio was available. It was a Tuesday, and I said that we were booked for 2 weeks. And then she's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Who's the artist?" Because most people don't have a manager. And she told me it was Jeezy, and I was like, "Hold on." So I looked at the schedule, called the artist, canceled it, called her back. It's like, "We're good."
Nice, got it done. Got it done.
I'll make some space.
Yeah, I was like, coming at 7.
Yeah.
Went to I asked for their rider, which is like, the list of shit that they want. Mm-hmm. Got all that stuff. And normally that's just for the show. They don't normally have that for the studio, but I was trying to do everything because the studio's not that nice, especially at this time. And the A&R, TJ Folk, gets there. He checks out the space and he's like, it's a little small. They got the tequila and they got all the fruits and you should come. And so we by the skin of our teeth.
Who's DJ Folk though?
He's the A&R. He's
who's that?
So the A&R is the person.
Give him a lesson, John.
Yeah, it's artists and repertoire. So they're the person who connects the instrumentals and the artists in today's day and age. So they're a person who basically curates, receives beats, and knows artists and sends them to them.
Mm-hmm. So not a producer?
They almost always are a producer.
Okay.
I've actually never met an A&R who's not a producer.
So DJ Khaled is
Maybe
A&R.
one.
DJ Khaled is a producer?
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. He's a film director, but with music. is what I've just seen him. I've worked at DJ Khaled's studio one time and got to talk. I've worked with Ben Billions a bunch of times, and he, grew up at that studio basically.
Damn.
So I definitely admire DJ Khaled and have a ton of he's a douche in other respects towards women. Sometimes I can't believe he says he won't go down on his wife. That's so fucking stupid.
And then there's a video of him fucking some chick or some shit like
really?
that. Like a meme video of him on top of some girl.
I don't want to say anything else because then I'll get in trouble. But
yeah, he's a good guy.
He shouldn't have said that.
All right, so DJ Folk comes in. He's like, that's all right.
Yeah, he's like, no, the studio's okay. So then, then we get to work. And the first song I did with Jeezy's Trash. I can't understand what he's saying. He's like, give it to me clean. And that just means undo everything. But I can't literally understand what he's saying. But he's saying, give it to me clean. Just give it to me again, but with nothing. And I was like, okay. So we fucked up the first track altogether because I just couldn't understand him. But by the second track, I knew his lingo and I knew how to do everything. And we did a track that made it on the album. We did Spider second.
Which track?
Spider off of Pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that Spider off of Pressure.
Yeah. And we did live horns on that summer before it came out too. It was lit. So he saw that I was really fast, different, and it is different when you get to record and there's just no time where you're waiting for somebody. It's like what we're doing now. It's fluid. If every time
real time,
if every time you wanted to talk, I had to stop and you had to start, it would feel different. It would be a different style of conversation. When you keep something as fluid and the music just always flowing, something magic happens. They do just get fucking amped. I just have had so many of the bigger artists who get hooked, and it's from that one thing.
Is this like a signature?
Yeah, we call it
move that you do.
Yeah, so I call it the glide.
The glide.
And so, shout out to Julie. I think she named it. Basically, you recording tracks happening, and then they're like, okay, punch me in. And then you hit record right away again. And then you do the edit, and you clean it up so that there's nothing in the way. But what most people do is when someone says, punch me in again, they say, okay. And then they do the edit, they drag it down, they go to the next space, and they hit it again. Taking out that 2 seconds that where you have to do the edit and pushing it to having it be during the time you're recording is the game changer. It's a little dangerous because you're recording over the track, and so you have to go fast enough to drag down the track before you overlap it.
You're quick with it.
Yeah, so you have to be really
You're quick with it.
How many other people in your realm, internationally, know this?
I don't know that it's something that's a secret. It's more of sometimes you
Technique.
sometimes you literally, when someone's asking you to go really, really, really fast, that's how it came about for me. It was just out of necessity. And so I was definitely working with Jeezy when I really came up with the flow for it, with never expecting to do the edit first, always expecting to do the edit second. And then, that was the fastest possible way to do it.
Damn.
So if there's other people who know it, that's awesome, but I don't know anyone else who does it.
That's crazy.
Damn,
And
that's
when I went
a
to
trade secret right
yeah,
there.
when I went to Westlake, they had an artist out there, Jossie, who was wanted a really fast engineer. Their engineers were way too slow for her, and they texted me and asked me if I was out in LA, and that was a couple years ago. So that was one of the coolest moments in my life. That engineers, and Westlake's a studio Michael Jackson made his album at. They were asking me if I was around so I could do a session.
That's
them
incredible.
instead of one of their engineers.
That's crazy, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but even just realizing that those things aren't things that are
But you obtain these things, man.
Yeah, but the difference between believing that you are actually special and being full of yourself is really hard to know the difference.
Nah, but
if you actually have the goods, you have the goods, and if you can market it and do something with it and build your team, that's great. But if you think you have the goods and you don't, then you sound just like the person who does. And so it does take you a while to feel comfortable with being oh, I do stuff a little bit different. I have something worth growing the team for. That's part of what made me feel so ready to get so many more people involved in it, is I feel I am ready and I have something that I can teach people. It's not that hard, but people aren't doing.
Yeah.
So
hold on, I was gonna say something real quick.
ahead,
Just
hurry.
family man, started a studio, built a whole fucking team. You got the skills. You literally have people fucking calling you to do this shit. Bro, that's impressive, bro.
Appreciate
That's
that.
an inspiration, bro.
Thank you.
And I feel that's why I really wanted you to come on. Fuck all the other bullshit. I could tell when I spoke to you, and even just quick, you were so willing to come on and I could tell you have a pure heart. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah, this is one of my favorite things to do too. It's you don't really get that many opportunities to hear, and there are people who do ask me this shit, and so
I feel like I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, this is like an opportunity to share it with whoever does want to know, and so if someone is looking into this, they do care about it, and so
that's what I'm saying. And you just like, damn, it's inspiration, bro. Low key, like you grinded, bro. Like no fucking bullshit. Like
I did.
You fucking
lost a lot of nights of sleep to fucking people no showing, for to hit the big one. So the other thing else, you got to be fucking prepared, but then you also have to be ready for like it not to work out so many times before it does work out. And so like persistence.
And that's what I was saying too. Like I feel like the art, no disrespect for the artist always gets like that credit, but like it's the sound engineers too. It's like that behind the scenes shit that I want to give relate like a magnifying glass onto people like you that are really behind the scenes fucking doing this shit. It's a team effort because it's not just him, it's other people too. But like you're a big part of it, and I feel like sometimes
be like the visual effects artists in movies nowadays. Like we don't know who they are.
Yeah, it's when the credit roll and you walk out.
Like Transformers, the star of that movie was the guy who drew the fucking robots.
Yeah, the fucking everything, bro. Even the voice acting.
The best acting in the movie was the robots. Like everything is like people we don't know.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I wanted to like have you on, because it's like, bro, like, dude, these are the real people that are fucking in it every day.
And part of it's kind of nice because then you don't have to be famous though, because like you can be a part of something so cool and share it with people and they know about it, but you're not like bothered.
You get paid. You get paid well, and you get to go to the mall with your girl and fucking buy socks and shit, and not have to be unbothered. Like, imagine if you couldn't, like, always having to walk around. You got mad people fucking up on you and shit like that. It gets annoying. You know what I mean? But that's crazy, man. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So you had that session with Jeezy.
Yeah.
He knew you were special. You had the sauce. So
he left, and then Jeezy Folk was like, he wants you to come out to New York. So I did my first session ever with, professional session outside of that studio, which was nerve-wracking, and it went terribly. And Jeezy was actually really nice about it and didn't blame me. And the studio we were at was using like stuff from like 2008. It was like really embarrassing, like how slow and Anyway, knowing what I know now, I would have done it differently and it would have been fine. But next day we went to Quad where Tupac was shot but not killed. And he got shot.
Gotta make that clear.
Just got to make that clear because it can be confusing. People are like, that's not where that happened. So this is in New York. And we did a session. Dave East came and said, "What's up?" Did a track with him real fast. That track's Paranoid on Dave East.
Are you kidding me?
Dude. That's the first feature I did. I just heard it on Netflix the other day too. I was watching TV.
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Have you heard Paranoid?
No.
Yeah, bro, Paranoia, maybe it's called Paranoia.
We should have reviewed his album, bro.
Yeah, he was the one telling me like, yo, we should review. That's nuts.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And
he's like a gutter rapper, like a trench, like real gutter rap. Like,
he's a real deal.
He reminds me of like Millyz. He did a collab with Millyz recently.
Him and Millyz are super close.
Yeah,
that's lit.
Yep.
And you've worked with Millyz as well.
Yep. And just did a week with Millyz out in LA. He rented an Airbnb. It was fucking lit. He had Mozzie stopped there. He did a bunch of sessions. He had a bunch of people out there.
Wow.
Damn, great. G Nipsey was out there. G Nipsey was going crazy.
No, that's fucking nuts too. And what other artists have you worked with?
From here or just everywhere?
Just everywhere in general.
The big artists I've worked with, Trey Songz. I worked with at Jeezy's studio for 3 days, and that was really, really fun. He tried to steal me, and Jeezy yelled at me about that.
Oh my God.
That was no fun.
Dude, you're like a high value commodity.
Okay, this is the coolest story I have. One time I was arguing with Jeezy about some label shit, and it was just me and him in this like small Studio C at Westlake, and Usher had rented out all 5 like studio spaces for a writers camp that week. So like it was pretty much just him, like his guys, but they were like running between studios and they had multiple sessions going on. And they'd called me there at like 2 a.m. And so I'm talking to him about some label bullshit I'm having to deal with. And Usher walks in and he's like, sorry, you can tell like something's going on. He's like, is it cool if John records Trey? Because he requested him. And so I got to like get out of like a really sticky conversation because Usher said my name and said Trey wanted me to record him like personally. And
damn,
I was like,
that's lit.
And I didn't wake up. It wasn't a dream.
Oh my God. So you're in an argument with Jeezy.
Yeah.
Usher walks in, he's like,
gets me out of the argument
go,
to go record Trey Songz.
Usher hit him with the, hold on, I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah. I'm gonna let you, but we need him. Yeah, that's when you got the talent, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, we get the talent. That's unreal, man. And
and it just is freeing for the artist to have an engineer who can keep up. So I know that I have job security in that. Like,
Bro, you got talent, bro. Like you don't even gotta explain yourself. Like when you explain the glide, like we get it. You know what I mean?
just gave away the sauce. That's
Yeah.
the other thing I do like, though. I give away.
But you
know.
do that because like again, that's who you are as a person. You want to grow that team up.
And I want some competition too.
Yeah.
Like if I make
Oh.
everybody better, I have to be better.
There you go. That's what I'm laying.
Damn.
Me versus me, money bag,
Yeah.
yo.
Oh my
You know?
God.
The song that you made with Lil Baby, you said it was it Baby on the Quality Control compilation, right?
Yeah. So Baby
Baby
is-
featuring Lil Baby and Da Baby.
So yeah, the song's called Baby,
But-
and Lil Baby recorded it at the studio, and he recorded 2 other verses, but they dropped those when Da Baby jumped on it, and then he re-recorded his verse. So we really just did the hook for it, but it's the first song that we did at the studio that went I think it's triple platinum.
That was the single, I'm pretty sure, for that album.
Yeah, I'm just dealing with the I'm about to order my plaques for 2 of those for the Lil Baby shit.
Damn.
So there's one with the Forever track with Lil Wayne and Lil Baby that I worked on for his album that was like the best-selling album of 2020.
Yeah.
Went double platinum, and then that song Baby.
Dude, that's fucking unreal.
Those
That's
are
it.
some very high accolades.
Yeah, those
Bro,
are cool.
I want a picture of it and hang it in my room.
Yeah, I mean, they're expensive too. They're $500 for the cheapest one and
Yeah.
$2,000 for the most expensive.
Oh, you know you're going to 2 racks.
I'm for those two.
you know you're going 2
Yeah,
racks.
definitely.
you know
Double
you
platinum and triple platinum, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
This is
Yeah,
that's-
congrats, bro.
You've been fucking killing it, and like that's what we aspire to be. I know we're coming up on time right now, and like that's what we aspire to be. You know? And
Hell yeah,
that's-
keep
and we're-
going, keep hustling, do it all the time, and it'll fucking growth happens.
Yeah,
You
be
know?
consistent, push.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those long nights. I feel you, man, bro. You could even arguably just say it like by having him here. Period. You know what I mean? Like I would have never thought I would have got a chance to speak with someone like you ever in my life.
Yo, I'm glad you hit me up. Like this
Yeah.
is a good opportunity for me. Like I don't get to do that many interviews, you know what I mean? The life of an engineer is not like the life of an artist where they're doing interviews all the time either. It's like my fourth interview or something.
Yeah.
So it's just as good for synergy is always a great thing. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
If this builds you and it builds me, that's like
Right.
literally
I call
the
it
definition.
cross-pollination.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
Cross pollination.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good, man. That's a vibe. All right, so I guess we'll wrap this up. I know you're gonna be out of here soon. Any last words or crazy stories or anything to tell the Real Relay fam, your family, your freaking goons? What's
Just
going on?
believe in yourself, and thank you so much to everyone who works at my studio. I love all you guys.
Yeah, we about to have Josh on here. He's about to be doing his thing in here too. He's about to be...
Yeah, Josh, fire.
Yeah, he
make,
talk-
make sure Josh plays some beats.
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe he'll show his calo. We'll throw it on
Can you
here.
make a beat on this or no?
Nah, this is just like a fucking. These are like little like presets you just set up and shit like
I
that.
thought this is what Kanye uses.
You
to
could
do
hack. You could probably hack it to
Yeah.
do. You could do a live beat. Yeah, no
Man,
problem.
God.
That's
If
crazy.
you, so right now those are just for like sound effects. You could put whatever you want, but if you put a kick and a snare and a
Sure, you could put a kick and a
chord
snare in
pat,
there.
like the A section for chords and a B section for chords for 2 different instruments, you could
Yeah,
totally do
I
a
guess you
whole
could
beat.
put them because of the preset. Yeah, but that's dope, man. Well, thank you so much, John.
Word.
Scott, for coming on.
Absolutely,
Dude,
this was
thanks
awesome.
for coming on,
Dude,
bro.
that was so quick. That was so like.
And I feel
Damn,
like
I
we
want to
only
learn.
scratched-
I want to learn more.
I know, I feel like
from
we only
like-
We could do a follow up. Give me a
Yeah.
couple years to grow though.
I want to
Yeah.
like, dude. You don't got any like merch or shit like that. You don't got
Not
like,
yet. 10-year anniversary is coming up in April though. You guys are invited.
Dude,
What are you doing? You selling T-shirts or anything?
Yeah, there's gonna be I'm gonna do a whole
put
event.
in a fucking merch order and we're like,
What,
Hell yeah.
what is it in April?
Yeah, April 1st.
All right, word. I move into Miami.
I
man.
probably won't do April 1st because people think it's a joke.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll do like April.
You do like a
something.
party or something? Or
Yeah,
fucking,
big party.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Let us know. We'll fucking be
Absolutely.
there. We'll fucking I want to buy like a T-shirt from you or something, bro.
We'll have t-shirts then.
All right,
We're
word.
gonna
Oh,
do
yeah.
10-year anniversary shirts.
10-year anniversary.
Working on the design.
Real
right
Relay
now.
Fam, 10-year anniversary. Not
Yeah.
April 1st.
tap
Not
in.
April 1st.
We'll
It's
tap
real.
in, but we appreciate it. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it, bro. Good
Yeah.
shit, man.
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
Real Relay family. Until
Relay
next
fam.
time.
You already
Peace
know.
out.
Deuces.
Peace.
Boom.